He was out of there.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm not paying for him, you know? First of all, it's not me. I didn't get anything out of that.
Like, I'd happily pay for your meal, but I'm not going to buy a whore.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you.
So, sea milk.
For those of you asking me, like, or telling me that I have ugly sunglasses, these cost $2, and I was trying to be ironic, so if you didn't pick up on that, I failed as a comedian. Anyway.
Yeah, you did fail as a comedian. They are hideous.
Yeah,
These are real Ray-Bans I got in Hong Kong.
Nice. That's you don't need to stress that in most countries.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're in mainland China, you absolutely have to stress that.
Everyone I know who has like aviators or any kind of Ray-Bans here, they're fake.
Absolutely.
Why would you go spend $1,000?
Because you can spend $5 on fake ones and they look almost the same. You have to buy new ones every couple months, but whatever.
Yeah, you can have a whole selection of different colors and
absolutely
styles.
Number two, before we begin the topic, very glad that you put the camera so far away and it's kind of up here because I am wearing pink shorts. I ran out of clean clothes. Don't judge me, but you guys don't have to see it. Lucky you.
No, you don't. That camera is really far away because we're using my lens.
Yeah.
My 50mm lens. It's literally like on the other side of the restaurant. How can we do this? Because there's not another person in the whole restaurant.
That's the funny thing is that we came here for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And the specific reason was that it has amazing food on display and you watch them cook it, right? So you walk up to this place. We'll show you the empty part.
Yeah.
This place with 20, 30 dishes, and you select your little tag that you want, and they cook it up. And this food is from Hunan province, which we did on our trip a few times now, eh?
We're talking about experiences today.
Yes.
How about you bring out the intro?
Well, the whole, I was kind of thinking about this earlier, and I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, and I thought of what better way to kind of tell people what they can expect when they come to China, or if they even don't want to come to China, if they just want to kind of understand how things go down here, than to tell stories from 8 years from me, 11 years for you now. I want you to start with the worst ever experience you've ever had in China. I'm saying the lowest you've ever been.
So I was out having a drink with some friends.
As you do.
Yeah, and that's one thing about China that's awesome is you get like foot massages, and massages here are really cheap.
Yeah, I think like $5 you can get them sometimes.
Back then it was kind of like I think 30 or 35
like
RMB for like an hour-long foot massage.
An hour?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I used to always, it was kind of a ritual. We'd go out, we'd get drunk, we'd have like a big meal, and we'd go and have a foot massage. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on you, most of these massage places also have like other services.
Oh.
Upstairs.
Right, they can do your hair, makeup, nails.
No, but they'll make you very, very happy. Just depends. Shenzhen is one of those cities where a lot of people used to and still do come over the border from Hong Kong to play around.
Pretty much everywhere in China.
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty much.
We're in a love hotel right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Right above us is like a quick hotel, they call it. Just for making a little love.
Whatever you want to call it. Anyway, fact of the matter is a lot of these places are dodgy. Not all of them, but...
谢谢.
She's here.
Shut up, 你干嘛?
不用，谢谢.
She's here. I'll get a little B-roll with this, dude.
Okay.
I'd say a massive majority of them in Shenzhen do have these like extra services. Fact of the matter is, the guy I was with a friend. He was looking for some extra service.
Okay.
Whatever that may be,
right.
leave it up to
Leave it up to him. We don't even know what kind of dodgy shit he's up to. Actually, I do. I know it.
Anyway, thing is, during this particular time, they were having this big thing in like this big universiade, like an Olympic thing.
Yeah. It was really strict, right?
Yeah. So they clamped down on all vice, and they also clamped down on things like street sellers and try to clean up the whole city.
Right.
So we went to this place. I went to go get my foot massage, and my friend kind of disappeared upstairs to go get his dodgy massage.
So your friend went upstairs while you stayed downstairs like a good boy.
Absolutely.
Because we're not into that kind of stuff.
Nope.
I don't think we need to say that, but at the same time, we kind of need to say it. Because it's so common here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So anyway, he disappeared up there. I stayed down getting my foot massage. About 5 or 10 minutes later, he storms downstairs. He's like, "I'm out of here. They don't want to do what I want them to do. Cheers, I'll see you next time," type thing. I'm halfway through my foot massage, so I'm like, okay, no big deal. I'm just going to stay here, finish up, and then go home, you know?
So the lady workers there weren't into like scat fetish or something.
I have no idea what he was trying to get at, but the thing is, whatever it was, they weren't doing it. He'd been there before and he'd gotten his service before.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
just like,
I got you.
okay.
Continue.
Anyway, so my foot massage finishes and I'm going up to pay the bill, and the foot massage is like 35,
Okay.
right? And they present me with a bill for like 235. And I'm
Whoa.
like, wait a second here.
Back then, that was quite a bit of dosh.
Yeah. I'm like, what's this 200? They're like, you have to pay for your friend's full body massage. And I'm like, but hang on a second. He left after like 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
He was out of there. So
Okay.
I'm like, I'm not paying for him, you
Yeah.
know? First of all, it's not me. I didn't get anything out of that. And,
Like, I'd happily pay for your meal, but I'm not going to buy a whore.
no. I mean, whatever the case. This 200 RMB they try to force me to pay, even
Okay.
though it had nothing to do with me.
Right.
Now, I'd gotten there on my e-bike. I had an
Okay.
e-bike, so my e-bike was parked
Is
outside.
that the one that caught on fire?
No,
Okay.
different one. So I go outside and I'm trying to leave. I put down my 35 and I said, that's all I'm paying. And they're like, no, you have to pay. I'm like, nope, I'm
Didn't
not
get
paying.
the body massage.
Yeah, so anyway, I go outside. Suddenly, like, all of the staff from inside there, like all these guys kind of rush out. They grab my e-bike as I'm trying to get on it, right? They grab my e-bike and they go and put it in an alleyway.
What?
Yeah, okay. And they surround me and they start like swearing at me and saying that I have to, you know, in Chinese, I have to pay them with 200.
Right.
So they start causing a scene, right? And I was admittedly quite drunk at the time.
Of course.
I'm not like off my head.
No,
I was
no.
at that point where I'm just not in the mood.
You weren't throwing punches.
No, and I don't want to put up with shit at that point.
Right, of course.
So I said to the guy, listen, I'm not going to pay for my friend's massage. He didn't even get a massage. He left after
Right,
5
he just
minutes.
walked out.
Yeah, I paid for what I got. I'm paying for that.
Right.
You know, like, oh, just
Yeah.
cool. I got some tofu. Let me
Awesome.
just. You'll have to excuse the interruptions here.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll just say this beef is exquisite, but we told them. And it was cooked with those kind of like sour peppers, and then the red chili peppers, and then cilantro and celery. But we told them, let's not make it too spicy. Like we said, like really little spice, right? And it turns out that it's very spicy.
That's
'Cause
the
they
China way?
always do that. Anyway,
Okay.
you can continue.
So I was getting into a heated argument with the guy, and he was like calling me some bad names. Like,
Right.
He was like literally calling me.
Grass mud horse and stuff.
He was saying like Cho Young Ways or whatever, you know, that
Ooh,
kind of thing.
shit.
Which is pretty bad. That's like basically saying you piece of crap
Smelly
foreigner,
foreigner, yeah.
piece of nonsense. Okay. So I basically I said to him, you are a piece of trash, right? Like Nishalajirin. Okay? That literally means you are a rubbish person. It's kind of like saying to someone you're trash, right?
Right. So you piece of shit. Kind of like that.
Yeah. Anyway, the guy turned around immediately to this whole crowd. There's this
We don't need to say this in
massive,
Chinese, by the way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this massive crowd all around me and just watching this fight, because that's what they do, they spectate.
Right.
And the guy said, this foreigner said that all Chinese people are trash.
Right.
And literally, like a second after that, I just started getting punched from all, like literally all sides. I
Like from the staff?
Just random,
Just everyone.
random people, random strangers, and the staff too. But it was mainly just random, like evil uncles and stuff. Like I
Oh.
literally remember a guy who was like sitting there on his bicycle, start cycling past me, kicked me in the ribs as he went past, and people were just punching me. It was ridiculous, and they knocked me down 3 times. I got straight back up because
Right.
I mean I've been in fights before in South Africa.
course.
I could take a licking, but there were literally, I'd say, about 30 odd people there, all just like piling into me. And I could see it was getting out of hand.
Right.
And you know, this was like, we're talking about the worst experience. I could see myself being beaten to death.
Whoa.
No, it was that
You think
bad.
they wouldn't have stopped?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I was, dude, it was bad. So I was just being pummeled by all sides, and I was
Right.
trying to fend off people from the back, the side, the front. You know, it's just one guy against 30. It's nonsense.
Wow.
So I just started shouting out, police, police, and I saw there was like a police golf cart type thing
Okay.
nearby. And luckily they came over, and then like suddenly it all dispersed. Long story short, I got dragged down to the police station along
Getting
with some of the staff members.
Oh, okay.
Right, so of that place, we all went down there. My head had swollen like a watermelon, like no joke.
As it would.
Yeah, because I was being beaten so much around the head. You know, the usual thing, they brought the guy in, they got a translator, some guy.
Wow.
Yeah, they called in some guy and he appeared. He was like half asleep, he was like, man, what the hell? Anyway, it's like, he was like an overseas Chinese guy, obviously,
Okay.
who could speak English very well.
Right.
Brought in a translator, they went through this long negotiation, and eventually they said to the staff, he doesn't owe you any money, he's already paid his 35, give him his bike back, and that was it.
So you won,
Yeah.
but you lost.
No, I mean, I had ripped clothing, my face was all swollen,
Oh shit.
and, so I got on my e-bike and sort of like limped home and had to recover over the next couple of weeks.
That's, I'm gonna say, pretty frickin' terrible. I want to ask you a question though. Did you reconsider living in China after that experience? Like, did the thought cross your mind that was pretty effed up?
Of course. No, not really. I'll tell you why. Because I come from a country which is bad.
Right. Understand.
A lot of people, South Africans, will always try to defend South Africans, say, oh, it's got nice weather, or something like that, or do rugby or something. It's all nonsense. The country's awful. It's so crime-ridden. I've had so many bad experiences there. So I try to disassociate bad experiences from a place.
Okay.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know I learned a big lesson, and the big lesson is don't ever rile up this nationalism. It's like a mob mentality, and these people, they get riled up. They get riled up like you won't believe. So I learned my lesson, and I take responsibility, because if I just stood there and not said anything to these guys and basically just called the cops, then it would have been sorted out without any problems.
Really?
But because I swore back at the guy.
Right. That's what caused the ruckus.
Yeah. But
So-
of course I wasn't happy with China at that point. Okay, how about your worst experience?
Got me full mouth.
Yeah. Is this any good?
Yeah, it's really good. That's like a dried ham, smoked ham. It's quite good, right?
Yeah. I like
Hunan is very different. My worst experience is going to be not about a fight, but about betrayal. And I think this could happen anywhere. However, what makes this specific to China is the way it transpired. Okay. Now, most people probably know that I lived around China in different areas for a long time before I moved back to Huizhou to get married, right? And when I was up in Inner Mongolia for 2 years, there was a very stark contrast to the friendships that I had in Taiwan and Guangdong, in that people were like pretty chill. Everyone loved to share a beer, All my friends were into bikes. It was kind of like a breath of fresh air, right? Because you know how it is down here sometimes. It's really difficult sometimes to find Chinese male friends that are into the same thing as you. Yeah. Even the Chinese guys that we meet down here that are into bikes want to ride in a group of 60 with like orange vests on, and then go to the lake 10 kilometers away. Sure. This is different. I got into off-roading and all this cool stuff, right? Now, one time when I was on my dirt bike, my Yamaha, I had to run out of gas because I was stupid. I actually didn't know how the fuel reserve system worked on a dirt bike, right? So I was always used to having a gas gauge and this is how much gas I have left. And I had run out of gas probably a good 10 kilometers outside the city, right? So, I mean, I'm not super good at China at this point, right? I don't really know what to do. But immediately this guy shows up. This really cool looking guy, by the way.
Yeah.
He's got tattoos and stuff, and he shows up on one of those CF Moto 250 scooter things.
Oh yeah, I know that.
And he shows up and he's like, "Here, let me take you to a gas station." So we go to the gas station. He pays for a bucket of gas, fills up my bike, and then we go have dinner together. And it turns out to be he's super funny. He's got a real sense of humor. I'm like getting to speak Chinese but have good jokes and conversation with someone.
That's important and nice.
Really, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this guy's really cool. We hung out probably every other day for almost a year, right? We rode together. He introduced me to other riders, right? And so, we spend pretty much every other day together, right? And we go to his hometown. I see how poor his family is. Mud hut, no windows. It's freaking awful. Kind of start to justify what kind of weird shit he does. Turns out he's a runner, delivering contraband between different places. It's pretty lawless, right? So he drives this shitty little the Sherry car, that brand. And he fills it up, the A series, fills it up with drugs or knives or whatever I never saw what he was doing, but that's what he was doing to make money. And it wasn't good money, right? But he'd go home to this shitty little hometown, drop it off. And I remember the time we were there, he was installing a light in their house. That was a really big deal. It was a big gift for his family. Anyway, we have a great time in his hometown. People are super chill, friendly, drinking local beer. You can see the stars up there. It's an experience I've never had, and I felt like a real friend. So his idea is he's going to move back, and he's going to get clean, right? So he's going to open this malatang place. And a malatang, how would you describe malatang?
It's basically just boiled stuff.
But spicy.
Yeah, I mean, it's got chilies and oil and stuff.
It's like a Sichuan dish.
Kind of almost like a hot pot, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's more stable.
And you don't drink the juice.
Call it nabe in Japan.
Oh,
That's
okay.
another thing.
Okay. Anyway, he opens up one of these in this little impoverished little town, and he gets this idea that me and my foreign friends are going to ride around on our big 1200cc bikes around the city and have these big flags promoting the restaurant. And there's never been a foreigner in this place, right? So, of course, these people just flock to this Malatai restaurant. We're helping them serve and dish out the stuff, you know, we run out of ingredients. It was really fun, actually. It was a good time. Anyway, he needs to borrow my bike to go to buy some ingredients from the market, right?
Yeah.
So he does that. And this is where I pieced it together. I think in that moment, he went and copied my key.
Okay.
Now, I can ask you this. How many key copying shops have you seen?
Tons.
There's one literally downstairs.
Any hardware store basically can
And
copy keys.
they won't
yeah.
ask.
No.
They won't ask any questions.
No, you
whatsoever.
just say, I want to make a copy, and they make a copy. And it costs like 2 RMB.
Right. So, of course, he knows where I parked my bike at home, right? Anyway, I go back to America for 3 weeks to visit my family. And my friend at the time, I said, every day, can you go and check on my bike, right? Of course, you want to keep an eye on it. But I was paying people in my apartment to watch it. It was
So it was in like
security
a
guards.
secure
It
parking
was in
lot.
an under a pavilion, right? Locked up, had a bow on, security guard, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So my friend calls me and he's like, in America on Skype, he's like, your bike's gone. And I'm like, stop messing with me, bro. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Now, it turned out to be true, and I had a bunch of my Chinese friends go check on it, and it was gone. And the security guard says that somebody came in, somebody that I had hung out with previously, described him,
Yeah.
and said, oh, I need to do some repairs on my friend's bike, right? Walked in. He was a little skeptical,
Okay.
but he turned on the key and he drove out, right? So he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got the
He's got the
key.
key. Who cares, right?
Yeah,
It's not a
right,
big
right.
deal. I've seen him hanging out before. Not a big deal. China's a pretty trusting place, right? So that was the day that I never saw him again, actually. And he stopped answering my calls. He deleted me off WeChat. I found him again and added him again, by the way.
Yeah.
And I saw in his moments, after this long wild goose chase, my bike painted gold.
I remember I saw
You
that.
saw that? I still have the picture. So this douchebag played me for like 6 months and was like one of my best friends, and literally stabbed me in the back and disappeared with my motorcycle, which cost 50,000 RMB, which was a lot of money at that time. I
How
was
much
just
is
a
that in
teacher.
dollars?
It was like $8,000.
It's
You know,
it's ridiculously expensive, especially since you know your salary is probably about 10,000 a month.
yeah, I think I was making 12
Yeah.
at the university.
It's like
you know?
5 months' salary.
It's a lot of money,
huge.
right?
It's huge.
But I love bikes, right? So
Yeah.
it was important to me. Anyway, that was like, it's upsetting to talk about because I've been burned like worse in China with other situations, but it was when somebody for that long burns you. Someone that you know so damn well
That you trust.
that you trust.
I have a
right?
similar story. We won't get into it now, but I've got a very similar story.
Right. So anyway, I thought it's kind of depressing, but it's one of those things that it's fun to share this kind of stuff because the next episode we're going to do are the best things that have ever happened to us in China, right?
Yeah, best experiences.
And those are way better than the worst ones.
Totally.
Actually, even more entertaining.
So I hope you guys can take something away from this. As always, our videos are not here to be biased in any way.
No,
We're not
it's
here-
personal experience.
Yeah, we're not here to bash China. We're not here to glorify China.
No,
We're here
no.
to just share our everyday experiences and help you. You know, because there's always something useful you can grab
Of course,
out of these
stories,
conversations.
no matter where you are, you know.
And from my story, don't escalate things. Don't swear or anything when you get into an altercation. And from your story is don't trust anyone.
And don't trust criminals, dude.
Yeah.
If you have an inkling that somebody's in shady stuff, then they're probably a shady person.
Absolutely.
You know,
That's something
don't
I've learned
justify it.
my whole life.
Right.
That's one of the things. One of the reasons I've always had a big problem with drugs. I hate to bring this up again. People love to give me shit about this, but it's not that drugs are so bad, but the fact that they're illegal means you're dealing with criminals.
Right,
And criminals
right.
always do bad things.
The fact that it's illegal
Yeah.
invites trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
So you know you can get into whatever argument you want. That's my biggest problem.
And I lost my bike.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, on to better things because in our next episode, like you said, it's going to be cheery, happy, feel good. So see you there. Wait, anything you want to say to everyone before we finish?
I want to say don't befriend criminals, especially ones with massive dragon tattoos all over their body, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how nice they are. Yeah. And even if you are friends with those type of people,
Mm-hmm.
I hope that you like, comment, and subscribe.
Absolutely, and whether or not you are a criminal scumbag or you are an awesome, upstanding person who loves to watch our videos, if there are any criminal scumbags watching our videos, you know, we
We like you
appreciate
too.
We appreciate your views,
Yeah.
but you know,
Not your viewpoints.
should probably stop your nefarious deeds.
Yeah.
Anyway, until next time, guys, you know the drill. We love you all the same, and stay awesome. Oh yeah. Hang on. Stay awesome.
When I close my eyes, I can almost sing it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works